Citizen Television.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am Cosmic Kev, your host, and this is for the 20th of December through the 27th, 2013. I want to say Happy Yule to all of you. Happy Winter Solstice. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the darkest days. And, this is, the darkest weekend. And so, even though we had Thanks Hanukkah 4 weeks ago or whatever, normally, Festival of Lights happens around this time of year. We appreciate the light more. We appreciate that returning of the sun. So we're about to welcome the sun. And so on the 21st, at 9:11 a.m., that's tomorrow, Saturday morning, we have the sun moving into Capricorn. We also have Venus going retrograde. I think that's very significant. Because now, we will have, the sun. I just moved. We will have the sun, Venus, and Pluto all in Capricorn. Now, Capricorn's key phrases I use. Does Capricorn have a reputation of being users? Sometimes. But sometimes they can be quite endearing as well. One person told me that Capricorn is really selfish, and I said, well, what about Martin Luther King Jr.? He doesn't strike me as a selfish person. What other things about Capricorn can we mention? Well, the city of Cleveland is ruled by Capricorn. The city of Chico, California actually became incorporated as a city during Capricorn time on January 8th, I believe, of 1872, but it was already bought by John Bidwell in Scorpio time in 1850, and it was purchased from the Mexican government in Scorpio time in 1844 from a man named William Dickey. So I kind of see Chico as a very interesting place to live in this time where we have this prominence between Capricorn and Scorpio. Saturn and Scorpio during Capricorn time. Capricorn is a Saturn-ruled sign. The other thing I'll say about this is that Capricorn is the beginning of the light. It is the beginning of when the darkness begins to dissipate. But it's also symbolic. Both Saturn-ruled signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, signify the coldest times of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. It's not a lot of light. And, of course, those of us who are historians know that Yeshua Bar Joseph, otherwise known as Jesus Christ, was probably not born in late December. He was more likely born probably in late August, And so, although I've heard some people say that he was born in March too, but he was not born in the winter because the shepherds were in the hills. And the shepherds don't go up in the hills until the dry season when there's no green grass left below in the valleys. So, and the other thing is that we know through history that John the Baptist was born 6 months before Jesus, and that the month that he was conceived was actually in Taurus time, John the Baptist. And so he was an Aquarius. Look, he baptized with water. He used that water element and he was a radical. He called out authority on their hypocrisy. We know this. And we know that Jesus, therefore, was probably born in Leo time, maybe mid-August. That's why they call him the Lion of Judah, folks. You know, there's a significance to this. And, you know, there's a lot of fundamentalists that'd be very uncomfortable with this. Good. You need to be uncomfortable. Open up your minds. Quit being stupid. You know, incorporate, have respect for other people's religions. I suggest you go to there's some really good websites I've seen, even on Facebook. One is called Unfundamentalist Christians. I think that's a good one. And I think the Christian Left is another one I would recommend you look at. Because you know what? Not all Christians are a bunch of idiots with their heads in the sands like ostriches. You know, and I don't think that about all Muslim people either. There's a lot of people who believe in Islam that are enlightened people. There's a lot of people who are Buddhists that are enlightened people. There are people who are Buddhists that kill other people too. They murder people in Sri Lanka over their religion. So, you know, there's hypocrisy. And then there's people who are atheists that will say, oh, you know, being atheist, we don't have anything to worry about. We just go out and drink a beer. Well, let's look at our great atheist leader, Mao Zedong, who murdered 50 million people, and take that and stuff that in your pipe. All right? Everybody sucks, first of all. Okay? Everybody bites it. Nobody's perfect. And you know what? We're in this place now where we're appreciating the return of the light. You know, and that is just love. Let love be your religion. Let kindness take over. You are not your beliefs. Capricorn's about using. People use things constantly, but using things isn't always bad. You know, you can use a wind generator, or if you have a creek growing by your house, you can have a little water wheel that gives you electricity. And that kind of using can be positive and in the appropriate way. And so we have to acknowledge that. Capricorn rules the knees. Sometimes people have knee problems. Capricorn rules the teeth. It rules the hair. It rules the skin. And it also, one of its favorite phrases seems to be, "This is reality." Which I think those of us who have been involved in metaphysics, or maybe even took psychedelics at one time, know that there's a lot more to reality than meets the eye or is just associated with the five senses. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna say right now we've got Sun in Sagittarius moving into Capricorn tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Pluto's in Capricorn, Venus is in Capricorn. Capricorn's a goat. It symbolizes the 10th house, our career life. When Pluto went into Capricorn, it destroyed the banks, it destroyed money. You know, Pluto doesn't lie. Pluto does its thing. And right now, what we think is reality is about to be transformed. I am so glad you joined me today, because we're going to do something special on this winter solstice episode of The Planetary Persuader.